My friend bids me come and see the ravens in the library, setting quiet pages free. My friend bids me come and see the ravens in the library.
Hey everyone, this is FireMaiden over at the Crafty Cauldrons with this week's book review. This week, instead of doing an actual informational book, this week I'm doing a fictional. I don't know how many of you have heard of it, but I'm going to be doing a review now on House of Night series by P.C. Cast and Kristin Cast. This is not the first book. I actually can't find my first book right now, which is kind of embarrassing because I know where all of my books are. But I've heard a few people say some bad things about the series because it seems very teeny bopper, which it does. In the first book, it does seem very, very teeny bopper. It starts out with this conflict between the main character Zoe and this other girl Aphrodite in this high school of vampires. I know, vampires. I've kind of become a little overrated as of late. But the difference is, the thing I like about what they do with vampires in this series is you don't get bitten or anything like that. What happens is somebody comes up to you, they touch your forehead, and whisper an incantation because you've been chosen by the goddess Nyx. And you are becoming one of her children of the night. And you go to a House of Night, which is a school for these children, because they have to be around adult vampires in order to fully turn. When you're chosen, you don't fully turn. You become a fledgling. And over the period of the next 4 years, at any moment, you could die because your body could reject the change. And you won't make it to adulthood. And several characters do at some point not make the change. And you'll bawl your eyes out, I promise you. But anyways, point is, they have to go to a House of Night to be around adults so that they don't reject the change. They have to be around an adult. And in this school, it's very, very pagan. They actually do have rituals. They have full moon rituals. And the authors actually did their research. They do actually state at one point that they are not Wiccans. They are comparable to Wiccans, but they are not Wiccans. And so that's where it gets very, very, like I say, it's very, very pagan. And, you know, it's just really fun. You're reading it and you know exactly what they're doing. And like I said, the authors just, they did their research. And I have to applaud them for that. Well, like I said, the first book's very teeny bopper because it's about the new girl Zoe going up against the popular girl Aphrodite. You get to pick your name when you get there. She chose the name Aphrodite, if that tells you anything. And they go and butt heads, of course, and I won't tell you how that turns out. But it's very, very high school. But as the story progresses, it gets darker, and it gets more intense, and it gets very, very serious. And you meet so many different characters that have different affinities. What an affinity in this book series is you're able to control something, or you have some sort of power of some kind. And for Zoe, it's her connection to the elements. For Aphrodite, it's that she can see into the future. For one of my favorite teachers, Lenobia, hers is being able to communicate with horses. And by the way, on affinities, they get tattoos. When they change, they get tattoos. They go above all on their face and all over their bodies. And there's something to do with their affinities. So like Lenobia has galloping horses around framing her face. But there's a very, very deep story to it that I'm not going to get into with you because I don't want to ruin the series if you do decide to read it. Just push forward through the first book. I actually like the first book. I tend to actually like teenage books. So I made it through it, but there were still parts where I was just like, oh god. But once you get past the first book, it starts to get more serious. Once you get past the second book, you're going to be addicted. It's a very good series. It's still going. Fortunately, because I get the books and I read them in 2 days, and then I get to wait a year for the next one. But it has a lot of pagan elements. It has a lot of pagan mindsets, and oh, you'll love Zoe's grandmother. You'll love her. She's an amazing crone. Seriously, she's outstanding. And I like their depiction of the goddess. I really do. I like their depiction of the goddess. Even though Nyx is not Indian and often appears before Zoe as Indian. But you really manage to get past it and look at the story and look at the morals and everything that are going through in this book. So, long story short, ending my rambling, the House of Night series is very, very good. Again, you gotta push through the first book, but it actually does have a really deep and meaningful storyline, and it's, again, very dark, kind of like how the first book of Harry Potter wasn't all that intricate, but as you got about midway through the series, all of a sudden it was a lot more than a children's book. So, check her out. And I'm positive you can find it on Amazon. If you can't find it on Amazon, I know that they sell it at Hastings and Walmart. So, thank you for watching this week's book review. And I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope you decide to read the books. A movie is in the making. And, see you next week. Blessed be.
Letting quiet pages free. One for fiction, two for truth, three for bikes and bathing suits, for